Suzy, two things. For such a fiery competitor, I was always amazed at how she could be so light and bubbly, effervescent, such a light, pleasant spirit to watch as she played, or as she coached, or did anything ultimate. And the second thing, for such a fiery competitor, I was always in admiration of how she funneled her competitiveness and funneling it toward how could she be a better player, working on her skills, practicing the footwork, practicing the throws, and just that was obvious by her example. That's what you picked up on. Not so much what she said, just how she was doing it. She was a pleasure to play with, a pleasure to have taken any field or any gymnasium floor with Suzy.
Hey Suzy, you and Newfoundland Ultimate left a real impression on each other. We miss you a lot, and thanks for everything you've done for the sport. And I promise we'll continue to drown the kiddies in your honor.
Hi, this is to congratulate Suzy on being nominated for the Ultimate Frisbee Hall of Fame Award. We've known Suzy for quite a long time, probably about a decade or so, and played with her over the years. There's a few things that come to mind when we think of Suzy. One is knowledge. She's extremely knowledgeable about the sport, about the rules, about strategies, and the ultimate community in Newfoundland and Labrador, but also across Canada. The second thing she's really known for is her level of skill, and there's all kinds of skills that she brings to the game. One is playing. She's an amazing player, highly skilled. She is really good at educating others, training others in new skills, but also in advancing their level of skill. The third thing is, in terms of skills, is leadership, and she has all kinds of leadership experience. She's worked with starting up the Women's Ultimate League in St. John's. She co-founded Tempest, which is the women's competitive trialing team, and she also had a big role with the co-ed trialing team as well, Rec House. And she's also been involved with the youth community. So that's just a few things in terms of skills, but she is really all-rounded. And the last thing, but maybe even not the last thing, because she's so amazing and brings so much to the sport, is enthusiasm. She's always smiley, always encouraging other people, no matter what their level of skill, whether they're at the top of their game, whether they're just a beginner. She's just really brings a really nice, encouraging spirit to the game. She has a huge amount of energy, and she brings that positive energy every time she goes on the field, and even off the field as well. And so she, in our estimation, exemplifies the spirit of the game, and so that's why we think she is worthy of this award.
Suzy Stever. I hate doing videos like this because it reminds me of how old I'm getting. I can't believe it's been 10 years since we met. I'll never forget receiving that email. I think it was from Keith at a second year of our league, when we were trying to create teams out of nothing and looking for captains. And you guys stepped up, and it's like, who are these crazy kids from BC coming to play in Mile Zero Ultimate, and to look at what you've done to Ultimate in Newfoundland, but I would say also Canada has been pretty amazing. It is a real privilege to have gotten to know you and to work alongside you all those years, and definitely those formative years in Newfoundland, when at a time when we were looking at how do we get Ultimate to be taken seriously, and how do we get people to start to actually play this sport. And I looked at the role I was playing, which was looking at the inside and how do we deal with boards and things like that. And you had this vision and push of like, hey, we can do more than just Newfoundland. And being part of that leadership that got us looking outside of our borders and got us thinking, it's like, yeah, no, we can take this seriously. Like, we can be good at Ultimate. And to see teams travel outside of Newfoundland, and to see the creation of Rec House, and to see Swirl and the ladies program and what you've done there, to see schools, and to see your commitment to Newfoundland Ultimate as an entity is pretty awesome. That doesn't happen without you, Suzy. And thank you for all you've done. Thank you for being a great friend. And thanks for being awesome. And thanks for putting up with Keith all these years so that he's still around. And please tell him to stop emailing and calling me. And yeah, enjoy BC.